Hi class, this is lesson 109 of book 3, and today we're going to learn how to plot points on a grid. So this is going to be new for a lot of you. So I want to talk about just some general things that we need to keep in mind. This is our grid, and today we've numbered each of these lines. So each line represents a different whole number. So along the bottom here, I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10. Each line is where that number is. Okay, same thing going up vertically. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10. So what we are looking for is the intersection of 2 points. I'll use my pen here to point it out. I want this right here. I want to know where the vertical and the horizontal line meet. I am not ever going to put a point in the center of the block here. That is not what this lesson is. This lesson is finding points where the vertical and the horizontal line cross. The math word for that is they intersect, okay? So there is a way that we read these. We write points like this inside of parentheses with one number and then a comma and then another number. So my first example over here, I have 3 points and I want to point out to you, how to find them. Okay, so this is point 4, 3. So the first number always represents how far I go along this horizontal axis. We always start right here. This point right here is 0, 0. That's called our origin. That's where we start when we're counting every time, okay? So for point 4, 3, I know that I'm going to go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's numbered for me there as well. And then I'm going to go up 3. So for me, it's more difficult to go to 4 and 3 and then find where they meet. It's possible, but I make more mistakes when I do it that way. So what I prefer is to start at 0, go over to my 4, and then count each line as I touch it. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. There's my point right there. That's point 4, 3. My next one that we're going to look at is up here, point 3, 7. So I know my 3 is along my horizontal axis. I'm going to go over 3, and then I'll count up 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's my point. My final point over here is point 8, 5. So once again, the first number represents the horizontal axis. So I need to go over to the 8 and then count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There I am. Those are my 3 points. So our first example is we are supposed to find these points and label them point A, point B, and point C. So let's get rid of those that are on the grid. And we're going to find point A, which is 4, 2. So I want to go over 4, it's right there, and then I'm going to go up 2. So 1, 2, and then right there on the intersection is where I make my point, and I'm going to label it point A. Okay, point B is 2, 5. So I'm going to go over 2 and then count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And label that point B. My final point here is point 5, 4. So I go over 5 and then count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is point C. So that's my next example. Boys and girls, say it with me. Over and up. That's the order that we do this in. If we go up first and then over, it will be wrong. So it needs to be over and then up, okay? So that's example 1. Example 2 actually has the points written on the grid and then you are supposed to find them. So let me label them really quick. That right there is point Q, and then we have a point P, and a point S, and a point R. Okay, and we're supposed to find them over here. So Q, let's do it in alphabetic order. P, Q, R, S. Okay, so we'll look for P first. So here's my point. So remember, my first number is going over from the 0. So if I look here, this is my 0 line. I'm going over 1, 2. So for P, I need my parentheses, and I need the number 2 to be first. Then from the 0 line, how far do I have to go up? 1, 2, 3, 4. So P is 0.24. Q, how far do I have to go over? 1, 2, 3 is where my Q is. So Q is going to have a 3. And then how far do I have to go up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 6. R, ooh, I'm going pretty far over here. If I see R is right on that 6 line there. And then how far up? 1, 2, 3. So 6, 3. Here's what I want to point out to you. Notice that these two have the same number. But this point, over 3 and up 6, can only be Q, because you have to do it in the right order. R here, over 6 and up 3, that can only be point R. We cannot flip-flop those because the order here matters. We always go over first and then up. So point S, we're going over 4 and up 2. So 4, 2. Again, P and S, the numbers just flip-flopped. But notice on the grid, those are two separate points. We can't flip-flop the numbers and get the same point. All right, that is it for the examples. I do have some lesson practice problems that I want you to try. So, the first set of problems is going to give you the point, and you have to write, they call this the ordered pair with the parentheses, number, comma, number. Okay, so for A, you are going to be finding point A right here. That's A. You're going to be finding point B, which is right here. Point C is right there. And point D is right there. So for A, B, C, and D, go ahead and try to write the ordered pairs just like this, but you fill in the numbers. And if you hit pause while you try to do this, when you hit play again, we'll go over the answers together. So A is over 5 and up 3. So the answer to A is going to be 5, 3. B is over 2 and up 1. So the answer will be 2, 1. C, over 1, up 4. 1, 4. And D, over 4, up 6. So there's your answer to the first set. We have 2 more problems for you. For these problems, there's a set of dots on the grid. We've got W, X, Y, and Z. So W is right there. X is right there. Y, mess that one up a little. Y is right here on the intersection. And Z is right here. Okay, so for these problems, you have to figure out which point has this ordered pair. And for the next one, which point has this ordered pair. Once again, if you want to pause while you figure it out, when you hit play, we'll go over the answer. So for 6-3 here, we know that we need to go over 6 and up 3. And look, that right there is point X. So our answer is going to be X for that one. For 1-4, we know that we need to go over 1 and up 4. And we see that that is point Z. So our answer here will be Z. Boys and girls, that is the end of this lesson. If you are my student, right now is the time to do your written practice. So please turn to page 579 in your book. Do your written practice problems. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.